This video does not endorse, promote, or glorify any form of illegal or harmful activity. Hey guys, young Psychonaut here, and welcome back to part 2 of the Q&A. I mean, the video got way too long in the last part, so I had to cut it up into this part 2. Thank you guys so much for the members. They're on screen right now. Thank you guys so much for the support. And yeah, if you want to support me, you can become a member. You can also go to the link in the description to buy me a coffee. That's just like a one-time thing you can support me with, or have a membership on there. That's also possible. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, Quinn asks, what is the most euphoric substance experience you've ever had? And I would definitely not recommend this. Don't do this. It's pretty dangerous. But it was a combination of benzodiazepines, soma, and weed, of course. But soma, I'll just put the generic name on the screen right now. But basically, it's like a muscle relaxer, already pretty euphoric on itself. But then with benzos, which is also a muscle relaxer, and like the benzo that I used was etizolam, so that was extremely euphoric. So I was basically like just floating in a cloud for a few hours. Didn't do anything. I mean, it wasn't a fun experience, but euphoric, definitely didn't do that again because it was very dangerous, but it was the most euphoric experience I've ever had. Penguin asks, do you think that being from the Netherlands was part of a reason for you trying different substances since they're easily attainable there? And I mean, yes, in a way, especially when it comes to designer substances. I would not have tried them if I had to get them from the street. Like if I had to get 2FDCK from a dealer, I would just not do it. I think the reason why I tried is because there are just a lot of research chemical vendors in the Netherlands that are very good quality. Also, like the weed scene here is a little bit more chill. Like you're not going to jail for weed, so that's why I also never really found that to be a problem to try it. So yeah, I think the Netherlands did play a part. I mean, using MDMA, etc. is also pretty normal here, but also, I could see myself being a geeker in the United States. I mean, you guys also have a lot of different drugs, but I would probably be more into like into prescription opioids, etc. if I would be located in the United States. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that, but whatever this guy's name is. What are your thoughts on the new Dutch research chemical laws that will start at the 1st of July. They're banning a whole bunch of crazy, a whole lot of chemicals, mostly synthetic catenones. I mean, he says, but I think it's really bad for our personal freedom as Dutch citizens, even though I never plan on trying 2MC as much. I still think people should have the freedom to put in their body what they want. They're also banning all phenethylamine, so no more 2CX, and very sad indeed. So I knew about the new ketamine ban. I did not know they did the phenethylamines as well. Honestly, I've been really thinking about this because when I first heard it, I was like, yes, finally they're getting that bullshit off the websites. But then I thought people are still gonna buy this. But now they have to get it from dealers. So now this whole thing shifts into criminal enterprises. And we already have so much problems with that. So I don't think it is a good idea. But I feel like some kind of positivity from it? Yeah, kind of. Because I think just getting 3-MMC from a research chemical vendor is just so easy. Way too easy to get this really fucking bad substance. And I mean bad as in like bad for your body and your mental health. And phenethylamines, yeah, I don't care about phenethylamine analogs because they're kind of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I tried 2CC and 2CB, and 2CB was like a whole different world. It's kind of insane how bad, in my opinion, the phenethylamine analogs were. So I don't really care, but I do agree with you on the fact that it is kind of taking away personal freedom and kind of giving criminals more to do. Sjoerd Boerte Korte, whatever that says. Sjoerd Boerte ask, have you had a bad trip? How was it, and did you learn anything from it? Yes, I've had a few bad trips only on acid, I would say, basically. I also wasn't in a very good mental space back then, so I shouldn't really have done it in the first place. But yeah, so I was really dumb and I started listening to Juice WRLD while he was already dead on an acid trip, and it kind of launched me in just total like despair and crying and just being like, I'm such a dumbass for doing benzos and for doing drugs. They were still while I was doing them. So I was, and yeah, what did I learn from it? Like, obviously do psychedelics in the right mind space, but also kind of like how much I hated myself at that moment in time. And maybe it did prompt me to become a better person. VO1 asks, what is your experience with DMT, for PRO DMT, for ACO DMT, if any? I don't have any experience with it. Like I told you in the video about drugs I want to try at some point. I do want to try these substances, but I think this is not really the moment in my life to do it. I'm really happy with my life, and I feel like these substances could really disrupt your daily life. So I don't really have time and space for that right now. Albi Mulby asks, I'm a bit introverted and have quite bad social anxiety. What substances would you recommend to make conversation and social interesting a bit easier and more fluid at a party, for example? So like I said at the beginning, I would probably do very, very low amount of DXM. A very low amount of DXM really kind of like makes me more social, a little bit less like social anxiety. Please don't do things like benzos for social anxiety, because you think personally that your social anxiety will be less, but everybody around you will be like, what is this fucking zombie doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, for people on the outside, when you do benzos, you cannot have a normal conversation. You cannot have a good like a good like idea of what's going on. Don't do those kinds of things for social anxiety. Try like a very small amount of ketamine or maybe a little bit of DXM. I think those things will be way better at giving you a little edge. But also, like, I've kind of accepted, because I also have a little bit of social anxiety, I've kind of accepted that no drug is gonna take that away from me, and it's just like my own framing of it which is gonna make it better in the end. Or yeah, just accept you're maybe not really a party person. Like, I also accepted that. Patnak asks, what is your opinion on the 3-month rule in regards to MDMA and keeping the magic? What do you feel like is the time period to keep in mind with ketamine or other similar disassociates? So the 3-month rule in regards to MDMA I think is good. I would say take longer pauses of MDMA than 3 months, but 3 months, if you really want to do it, it's okay. Personally, I tried MDMA last year and I tried MDMA a few weeks ago. So that was a year between them, and there was no magic anymore. So I think even if you have a 3-month break from MDMA, if you've just done it too much, there's just not a lot of magic left. Like a few weeks ago, I did MDMA and I just thought I would have had a better experience on the low dose DXM, low dose ketamine. Even just smoking weed would have been more fun in my opinion. Like, MDMA for me just kind of feels like fake stimulation. I didn't really feel extremely connected to my bro that I was hanging out with. I didn't really feel like extremely connected to the world. I mean, I've done 2 of DCK and I felt more connected to people and the world. So yeah, I'm just not really that big on MDMA anymore, and I can really say that now because I did try it again. But when it comes to keeping the magic, just don't do it as often. If you could just do it like a few times in your life, it'll keep the magic. If you've done it like 10 times, it's probably not really gonna be that magical anymore. What do you feel like is the time period to keep in mind with ketamine and other disassociatives? So if you're going to do a full dose of ketamine, like snort a few 100 milligrams or a gram, wait like a few weeks, I would say, maybe longer. But if you're doing it like me, if you're doing like 30, 40, not even 50 milligrams, I honestly don't really see a reason why you couldn't do it. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be mad about this, but I do it like every 5-6 days, maybe a little bit. Like, again, with the amounts that I do, I've never had any problem. But if you're going to do like a normal ketamine sesh, wait a few weeks at least. That would be, I think, a good idea. Jake F. Kennedy asks, what in your opinion is the hardest substance you've ever tried voluntarily or accidentally? And honestly, guys, I'm just not into hard substances. I've never tried speed. I've never tried cocaine. I've never tried GHB. I've never tried like all these different hard drugs or heroin or methamphetamine or anything like that. Because I really care about myself. I care about my body. I care about my life. I care about the people around me. And these substances will in some way destroy whatever you love. And obviously there will be one person in the comments who has done heroin for 10 years and has the best life ever. Good for you. But like, for you, there's 9 other people who've fucked up on the street and are having problems. Okay? And this is obviously, again, very unnuanced, but it is my opinion. What is the hardest substance I've ever tried? Honestly, when it comes to like bodily harm, it's alcohol. It's very simple. When it comes to all substances ever tried, I've done binge drinking, and that was the worst thing I've ever done for my body. I mean, my body also knew that because that was also like I felt terrible. Yeah, I'm really like, for example, I've never done high amounts of DXM, so I've never really harmed my body in that way. Yeah, I've never tried crack. I've never tried. Yeah, so I think literally alcohol will be the worst thing I've ever tried. Obviously, the fentanyl I got in the hospital, if I had tried that myself, that would have been the worst. But like getting fentanyl in the hospital is 100 times less worse for your body than doing alcohol. Obviously, this is hyperbole. It's not literally 100 times, but you catch my drift, right? Easy Weezy asks, after hearing what your thoughts were for PCP usage, would you reconsider trying it if you had a more stable, safer isolate like 3-MeO PCP or other research chemical derivatives? I actually do have access to 3-MeO PCP. I did research it, and it does seem like there's still a considerable chance for mania or to become delirious, and I'm just not gonna take that chance. I like disassociative because they make my reality more fun, and a delirium or a manic state is not fun for me. I'll probably never try it because it's just, for me, a too large chance of things going wrong. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but what is your ideal order in which to try different drugs and at what age? So honestly, I would start, if you want to start taking substances, I would start later than me. I was way too young when I was 18, still developing my mind. I would say wait until you're like 24 or 5, till your mind is fully developed, because then the negative effects will probably be the least powerful. Also, ideal order in which to try different drugs, I would probably say that cannabis is the best drug to try first. It's just the least amount of chance of things going wrong. You can't overdose on it. It is like, I think, the most accessible to most people. A lot of people know about it. A lot of friends of you probably already do it or have experience with it. So I would definitely say weed first, and then probably like DXM, ketamine, 2CB, shrooms. Those are the kinds of things that I would try after that. I would probably, if I could have if I knew about alcohol before trying it, I would probably never have tried it. If I knew about cigarettes and nicotine before I tried it, like really knew about it, I would probably never have done it. So those things I would just throw away or just put at the end of that order. Not Porilol asks, is DXM more similar to acid or shrooms? Is it more similar to ketamine than both of those? So that's the cool thing about DXM. It's pharmacology is so unique, and it triggers so many different receptors that you can have so many different experiences on DXM. But I am just going to talk about my experience with DXM, which is low dose. And with low dose, I think it's very similar to low dose ketamine. It is very much like a little bit of disassociation and maybe like almost like a microdose of shrooms. Honestly, I can't really talk about higher doses. I've heard about people talk about DXM feeling like acid on higher doses. I haven't tried it because I feel like DXM on higher doses is way too bad for your body. I would say low dose ketamine is more similar to low dose DXM. Corny and Nell ask, do you ever consider that your past drug use may have caused subtle long-term changes to your brain that you're not fully aware of beyond what you can measure by simply functioning well today? Yeah, definitely 100% have caused long-term change in my brain. Positive from psychedelics, definitely also positive from things like ketamine and MDMA also had positive changes on me. But like, for example, benzos, yeah, they probably fucked up my brain structure pretty bad, I would say. Also, benzodiazepines have been linked to cancer. Very, very strong link to cancer, which is extremely weird and interesting. But there's a very large chance that the benzos that I took, because I took like thousands of them, yeah, that probably had very like drastic effects on my body. And also like smoking cigarettes and nicotine, and like that will also probably have like the craziest negative effect on my body. When it comes to weed, yes, obviously it has changed my brain, maybe negatively, maybe positively, very hard to say. But yeah, definitely there are long-term changes in my brain from drug use. Jack Ladd, have you ever been curious about taking the Angel's Trumpet Datura flower, and do you know anyone else who did take it? I don't know anybody who took it. I also don't really know a lot of people that know about it, but I'm never just going to do deliriums or deliriants. I just hate delirious, like being delirious. That's the same reason why I would not do a high dose of Benadryl ever. Like, I don't see the appeal of that at all. So Datura is definitely out of the question for me. Michael asks, how much DXM have you ever done? Like your record. And like I said, my record is probably like 200 milligrams, like actually really low. And I've tried high doses or like moderate dose of DXM a few times, and I hated it so much. Like you get nauseous, the disassociation isn't that much fun. Like I feel like high dose of ketamine have a way chiller disassociation. The music appreciation isn't even that good anymore in those ranges. So my record is low. It's like 200. And again, I recommend you do low doses of DXM because it's just more fun that way. Battling Bro asks, how do you keep up good moderation with substances? Also thoughts on using darknet market. So good moderation with substances. I mean, do I have good moderation with substances? I don't know. For me, it's really about feeling that you have an accomplished life, that you're happy, that you're with people that you love and like, that you're not having anxious like thoughts or anxious thought spirals or anything like that. And I don't have that, so I guess my moderation is good. I would really like just have indicators in your life, like your grades or your mood or anything like that, where just if that goes down, then maybe you should just do less. That's how I do it. Like if I, for example, I had a period where I did a little bit too much like ODSMT and tramadol, and it did like have a negative effect on me the next day because I was just less motivated the next day. So I stopped doing it, and now I haven't done it for like probably a few months because yeah, if you feel like it has a negative effect on you, stop doing it. So, and then if it doesn't, then yeah, it kind of doesn't. So that's how I moderate my substances. Also, I never do the same substance like 2 days in a row. Or 3 days. Or like do a substance, wait a day, and then do the same substance. That's just very slippery slope for addiction. So that is also a good idea for moderation. Just never do it at the same day or the day after. Also, the darknet, I've never used it. I've been on it, obviously, but I've never ordered anything because I don't trust it at all. Like the chance of just getting some bullshit or some adulteration or I don't know, it being caught by customs. No, I literally have access to anything I want from dealers or from designer drug websites. I've never seen a reason to use the darknet markets. It kind of seems like, yeah, people that use that kind of don't think it through that well, I would say. Tracopa asked, have you ever tried any smart drugs, nootropics, so-called cognitive enhancers? I'm curious, what's your take? Do they truly sharpen the mind or just polish the illusion of clarity? And there you already have it. I think they do kind of polish the illusion of clarity. I have not really tried a lot of nootropics because I'm not interested. I don't need anything to sharpen my focus. Through meditation, through years of meditating, I've developed a focus that's kind of insane. Like if I have a 2.5 hour lecture in uni, I'll be like into the lecture, taking notes, asking questions for 2.5 hours straight without any kind of caffeine or anything like that. Like I'm just really interested in what I'm doing at the moment. So I really don't feel like I need it or I want it or it will bring me anything. Actually, the few times I tried like cognitive enhancers, I would say things like Ritalin or dexamphetamine or caffeine or anything like that, I kind of feel worse, as in I don't feel like I'm more like, I feel like I'm worse at what I'm doing. I think being sober without any kind of substances in your body is like the best way to do work and to be the most sharp and the most clear, at least when it comes to me and how I meditate, etc. So I'm not really interested. I haven't really tried a lot of them. I've tried a few like non-psychoactive substances or supplements like theanine. I've used that a year or two for sleep. I don't use it anymore, but if you have bad sleep, look into theanine. It could be interesting. That's mainly, and maybe creatine, but I wouldn't say creatine is a cognitive enhancer. I would say it's more of like a strength enhancer because I use it for the gym. But yeah, I mean that you could technically say that. Taco Too Cool says, if you do regret doing anything, if so, which one and why? And it's very simply, it's benzodiazepines. I regret doing that so much, and also smoking tobacco and things like that. Like if I never had like benzos in my life, maybe it would have been very different. Maybe I wouldn't have been here where I'm now. But if I could not do them, I would probably not do them. Megumin, favorite psych. If we're talking about classic psychedelics, it's definitely shrooms. It's just the way that it's more sedating than the other psychs. Yeah, it feels more natural. It feels more nice on the body specifically. And also, I just get a really nice vibe from shrooms. Cody Pugel asked, what is the weed scene like in the Netherlands? It's really basic. I would love to be in like a Colorado or California weed scene where you're all like into really good indica strains. You guys have like really nice concentrates, edibles, beverages, gummies, dabs, concentrates, all those kinds of things I love. But here in the Netherlands, it's like so basic. Like basically, I would say like 70 or 80% of the weed users in the Netherlands are like, they smoke like spliffs with amnesia haze in it. And honestly, I know I'm sounding kind of judgmental, and I am, but I've been that person, and it will make you fucking loopy as fuck. It will make you kind of schizophrenic if you smoke like that. And a lot of people in the Netherlands don't know about good strains, about good indicas, about gelato, cookies, etc. They don't know about concentrates. They don't know about dabbing. They don't know about vaporizers. Yeah, like edibles are even here in the Netherlands. Like you can't like produce edibles in factories because it's still illegal in the Netherlands to cultivate weed. So all the edibles in the Netherlands are like homemade by the shop owners, or like they buy them from like, I guess, like semi-illegal sources. So like the edibles in the Netherlands are fucking overpriced, not that strong. So the weed scene in the Netherlands is like really basic. It's like, honestly, I would love to be like, have Dutch people be way more into like all these cool things. Like I'm really into dabbing now, and I would just love to have a normal priced concentrate. Like here in the Netherlands, you'll pay like, for good concentrate, you'll pay like 60-70 euros for like half a gram, and it's not even cool strains. It's like the most sativa bullshit. Like I just want a good indica, gelato, dab, and then I'm basically set. And when it comes to the weed scene, like the people that smoke in the Netherlands, it's mostly like stoners, skaters, people who are into hip hop. I think that's mostly like the weed scene in the Netherlands. Like I think in the United States there's way more like just like normal housewives or grandmas or like working class people using weed. I think here in the Netherlands is way more like the quote unquote like more alternative people that use it in general. Like obviously you will always find like working class people that smoke weed, but a little bit more like blue collar thing here in the Netherlands, I would say. And like young people smoke a lot of weed in the Netherlands. So yeah, that was already the Q&A. I mean, it's probably like an extremely long video, but I really like doing it. It was fun answering your questions. Yeah, if I couldn't put you in the video, I'm sorry about it, but I also have to draw out the line somewhere. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.